Hey, yo, what's good? I'm gonna be telling you all the time I confronted my stalker. You gotta be careful cause you always don't know someone's intentions. Around the summer of last year, I went on vacation to enjoy my time out of school. So while I was in the Airbnb chilling about to eat an Oreo, I realized I didn't have any milk. Eating an Oreo without milk just isn't it, bro. The Airbnb I rented out was in the open, so I had a long way to go. On my way back after copping some milk, all of a sudden, a plane flew right over the Airbnb and dropped a bunch of torpedoes on it. All I could do at that point was just stand there and watch my Airbnb with my Oreos being blown up. After the fog cleared, I walked up to my destroyed, burnt Airbnb and saw a suitcase. The suitcase had a disrespectful note that read, "Come get it back in blood." It was at that moment where my whole attitude changed. Getting your house blown up is one thing, but a person talking shit, especially saying, "Come get it back in blood," is another thing. I then drove over to a company who I knew could help me, God's Essence. When I got inside and found Dr. Dre hiding his secret stash of ganja, I told him about my crib being blown up, and at first he started laughing, but then he asked me if the same people followed me. And as I was about to start my sentence, the building started rumbling and the lights were flashing red. Then the person tells us that we're being attacked by jets. Dr. J then commands security to go out in jets and get back. Dr. J then told me he needs me to get in a jet and take a picture of their bomb. I asked him why, and he told me there wasn't enough time to tell me, so he'll tell me later. I did not want to put in work, especially when there's like 3 other people. But once he told me this quote, I couldn't help but feel motivated. It's a parade inside my city, yeah. I then magically felt gangster and flew up in the sky with a jet. I spotted my teammates shortly and saw them chasing after the "come get it back in blood" guy. While flying right at him, the guy made a U-turn and shot a missile at me. I moved out the way and made a U-turn trying to catch up to the missile, but it was going lower and lower. I drove down, and as soon as the missile was about to hit the ground, I took a picture of the brand and tried to get away. But because of the impact from the bomb, the jet started to repeat engine failure. But also the wind was so powerful that it pushed me all the way over to God's Essence, and I almost landed in one piece. After showing Dr. Dre the photograph, he immediately recognized who it was. He told me that the company was known as Balenciaga Bucks. The organization is popular for manufacturing weapons for military. What sets them apart is their ability to offer their products at low prices compared to the competitors, while at the same time having superior firepower. He then suggested I should stay inside until it was safe. I then moved and changed my identity. I was confused and frustrated that he even suggested that. I addressed him by telling him I need to get my revenge. He said it wasn't worth the hassle and damages that I would have to go through. In the middle of him telling me how much weapons and security they have, I showed him the note that was in the suitcase, and he immediately told everybody to get ready. He told me that he too knew how it felt to get a little bored. So skip past and we're at the location. We sent multiple missiles and bombs right at the place. Since the building was huge with a large body of water surrounding it, I didn't have to be careful of any pedestrians or other buildings. But soon after, the Balenciaga Bucks started fighting back with their own jets and missiles. Because I broke the other jet, I had to share one with Dr. Dre. He was piloting and I was shooting going crazy. Once he noticed the jets were flying at us, he drove down and straight into the window. I hopped out the jet, stumbling and jumbling. But as I was about to question him, asking why he did that, I saw a man with business attire and a mask on. Then another man walked in the room and told him that it was time. The man took off his mask and it turned out to be Chris, the fireman who I helped that one time. I asked him if it was really him, and not only did he tell me it was, he also told me he was gonna get his get back for me putting him in jail. I told him that wasn't supposed to happen, but he then expressed some of the things he had experienced in jail and the people he lost. Then he wanted to kill me for ruining his life. He then took out a shotgun and he said he was gonna kill me. Then Dr. J and I hid behind the jet. Dr. J said that not having a gun in that situation would suck, and he was glad that both of us came prepared. I told him that I didn't have a gun, and he then remembered not giving me a gun. So he told me to run. He said he would handle the leader of the Balenciaga Bucks named Mikey. Dr. J then threw a smoke bomb and I ran into the hallway. While running, I kept getting lost and sometimes I would spot Chris. I knew that in order to escape him, I would have to slow him down some way. I kept running, looking for an opportunity until I saw a haystack. I hid in the haystack, and as soon as I heard Chris getting close, I hopped out the haystack, and as soon as I got close to him, he dodged out the way and hit me with the butt of his gun, sending me close to the fight in the main room. He then walked over to me, and then as soon as he was about to shoot me, the building started rumbling OD, and the whole building started tilting, causing Chris and I to fall through the window. But I managed to hang on to a part of the window, while also at the same time holding Chris from falling to his doom. Then Dr. J yelled out telling me that Mikey ignited the bombs at the lower level of the building and said he ended up falling out the window. Chris told me to let him go because of how guilty he felt putting me in that situation. I was trying to tell him that it doesn't matter, but but he still wasn't accepting it until I told him the same inspirational quote I learned that day. I'll repeat it for y'all. It's a parade summer city year. He then took his other hand and helped me pull him up. Then we all got in the jet and flew away just in time to escape the explosion. While on the way, Chris apologized for trying to kill me and said he only wanted to take out his anger because of the pain he felt of losing his wife. I told him that it was all good and Dr. J offered work for him so he could get back on his feet, and even told him that there would be a lot of baddies working in the organization and he could put him on. Chris gladly accepted the offer and we flew right over my crib. I thanked Dr. J, then jumped out the jet, landing on top of my house, and that's where it all ends. Now before you go, there's one thing I want to tell you guys. Although I already dropped an inspirational bomb, I want to hit y'all with another one so y'all can be even more prepared for your trials and tribulations in life. The moral of the story is, if a guy has HIV, don't be afraid to slam him. Once you get over that fear of death itself, you will blossom and become unstoppable. Don't be afraid.